Hey, what's up, historians? Welcome back to another great season, another great episode, Historically Haunted VODCAST, Season 6, Episode 26. Wi-Fi is a little spotty, but what else is new, right? Adam, Historian Ghost Hunter, I'm your host with the most. What's going on, guys? And I have my guests today coming on. We have the psychic and the spiritual leaders of WARDRUNA. We have podcasters. They are... what don't they do? They are psychic healers. They are spiritualist leaders. They are, I believe, authors, soon to be authors. We have STACIA, WILLS, and Thomas Patrick, also who sponsor the show for the year. Live from Ohio, boy, what's up? But real quick, before we play that, as you guys know, Danny Perez, the Perez's, made this video for me and sent me this for the show. I want to play a minute of it. Here we go. Check this out. Thank you, Danny. Oh, that sucks. I'm going to upload it. I thought it'd be better than that, but it didn't look that good because of the fucking camera. Sorry, Danny. But I'll bring that on. I mean, I'll upload it for next week for you guys to see. But it's a cool little video intro for the show. It's got a metal dude singing. That sucks. Anyway, all right. Edit. So without further ado, you guys have seen Thomas. I think this is like his 8th time on the show. And the last time STACIA was on, they were, I believe, on the way to the airport in the truck. Is that right? So without further ado, the leaders, the brains, brawn, beauty, everything behind WARDRUNA. What's going on? Thomas Patrick and STACIA, Willis, what's up?
Hi, dear. How are you?
Brains and beauty right there. So
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
I think, yeah, last time we spoke, girl, I believe you were in the car, right? In the airport or some shit?
We were in the car and we were in Salem. We
Yep.
were in Salem.
That's right, Salem, Massachusetts.
yeah, we just arrived at the waterfront hotel.
What is going on with my hair? You keep talking. I don't know what's happening here.
The spirits are alive tonight, girl. All that.
Yeah, right.
Well, that's what happens, just so you know where we are right now. We're in our conference room of our building, and right over our shoulder beyond that window, you could step off and be in Lake Erie, which is frozen right now, so you won't fall in. So, but that's how cold it is.
God damn. Yeah, that's right on that. And of course, look at this. People checking in. Father Ken Torres already sending some more.
Father Ken. We love Father Ken. He's the best.
My guest that I got introduced to from the Salem Con from you guys last week, Mr. Stokes, Jason Voorhees himself, his old lady's checking in. The beauty and bravery.
Yes.
Sammy, what's up, girl?
I love Sammy.
Yep.
She's my girl. I was talking to her today.
Yep.
We have many things planned together with the Stokes.
Yep.
I noticed 2026, you guys are going to be a lot of conventions, a lot of places all over. We're going to talk all about it. We're going to dive right in. My love, my lady, Heather Kennedy saying hello.
Oh, I love Heather. I hope you are doing well and on the mend with that, with your hip there. So
I have it, honey. You've been in my prayers.
Yeah. Thank you, Danny. Thomas, I'm sure she appreciates that. She doesn't get enough love, so that's awesome.
Yeah. There's Danny.
There's my buddy.
Yeah.
There we go. What's up, Danny? What's up, Samai, my girl? What's up?
Yeah.
That's our girl.
Yeah.
She just re-signed with me for another year. Historical Haunted Book, and I represent Samai. She's part of WARDRUNA, which Thomas, Sam, so love you all. Can't wait. Sammy says Stokes, the wife of James. So we're gonna dive into a bunch of stuff. I got millions of questions, even though I've already talked to you guys millions of times. But I want to know how you guys met. I want to hear the love story. Let's hear it.
Oh boy.
Oh, the love story.
The love story.
That's all right. Oh, real quick, sponsor of the show, Asia. What's up? Methodical Management.
Asia.
Hi, sweetheart.
Asia is awesome. Her methodical group is growing.
Bob
We're
Bailey.
excited for her. Yep. Father Bob. Love
Hi,
Father
Bob.
Bob. So, yeah.
He's the
Amanda, my buddy from Japan, soon to be Italy. So, yeah, be great.
Yeah, she's moving. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
so
go ahead. Sorry. Everybody's saying hi. We got 12 people watching already.
We love everybody saying hi. That's fun. We can say hi the whole time. So, yeah.
So I was asked to be on a
Let's hear
show.
it.
Yeah, I was asked to be on.
Yeah, it looked like a UFO falling out of the sky or some shit
You
behind
see
us.
the light in the back window? Yeah.
Yeah, we have an airport. We have an airport right next to us. There, next to the building, there is a boat launch a yacht club. And then next to that is a military/private airport. So it could have been a plane going over, who knows?
We do have a lot of UFO sightings here.
Yeah. Yep. Lake Erie is spooky.
All right, for the 14th time, let's try this again.
Okay, let's do this again. So I was asked to be a medium on a show. And I was talking to one of the girls that did the background work on the show. And she said, you need to message this Thomas. He's a lot like you. So I bebop over and I sent him a friend request and I'm like, hi, my name is Stacia. I'm a mole for, it's a shaman. He goes, hi, how are you? Boom, end of conversation. Okay.
Well, Adam, I've been doing this, like I've told you, I've been doing this since the Dead Sea was only sick. And, you have a lot of people approach you and, especially doing conventions and stuff. So you never know. You got to weigh people and see what they're all about. So I just thought of just somebody reaching out, just like anybody else. And hey, how you doing? And that was that. And then she'll take over.
Yeah, I'll take over.
Yeah, you will.
So in the
Held it better.
meantime, this show was doing some work with a house known in Connecticut. And I kept saying, I don't think you should go in there. I just don't think you should poke what's in this house. And then I started seeing things from this house. So as I am sleeping one night, oh, and by the way, I would see dark figures and, I knew it was connected to the house. I just kept saying, quit poking it. So one night I
wasn't poking it.
No, he wasn't poking
I wasn't
it.
part of it at the moment.
So I just kept telling this group, don't mess with that house. There was something just not right with it. So anyways, I'm sleeping and I heard, get up. I'm like, okay. I sit up and I see this figure in the back of the trees. And it was just an earth elemental figure, kind of looked like a minotaur. And I see it back there and I'm like, what the hell? I'm too tired for this tonight. And I heard, call the archangel of the paranormal. I'm like, okay, well, I'll do that tomorrow. And I laid back down and went to bed. So I sent him a message and I said, I think I'm supposed to talk to you. So I said, can I have your number? So he gave me his number and I called him. That's the first time, I heard his voice. And I said, listen, you're going to think I'm crazy. Just hear me out. And I started telling him what I saw. He proceeds.
I said, so you saw it too? Because I was over the house and not even 2 days before this, not knowing she was going to call.
No.
And I'm out interviewing the family and I'm like, what the hell is that?
And I didn't know he went to the house.
What is that figure in the trees?
Way.
What is that figure in the trees? And I didn't want to say anything because the family was already like in all different directions at the time. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to keep this one in the back pocket for a little bit. And then when she told me she saw it on the phone, I was like, okay, this person is the real deal. I need to find out much more direction we could go with this to possibly help this family.
So we hatched a plan to go out to the family and actually do a documentary. So it took us months of planning and we got a group together. I mean, it was a very good team. Gina was there, Fisher. Samaya was there, myself was there, Tom was there. We flew in another medium that had no idea of what the house was because, he knew some of it and I had to do some research on it. So I wanted a trusted medium that I knew to go in and hit the ground. His name's Greg Nicholas, and that's exactly what he did.
Gregory.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, he was, we picked him up from the airport, drove him straight to the house to get a reading, and, we spent the night. He was there one night. But anyways, I'm standing there. I get there. We also had a therapist there. Like, we covered all of our bases. Yeah. So Tony, who we used, she came out, make sure the family was okay. So I'm standing on the one side of the house, and I feel this energy behind me. And I turn around and there's Tom. So he's laughing. He is laughing at me. I'm like, why is this guy laughing at me? Like, I've never met him before. But I went over and when I hugged him, I instantly up out of me said, I've missed you. And I went, what the hell? Like, this dude's going to think I'm weird. Like, that came up out of my soul.
No.
So I was just like,
that's you the first time she met you, Thomas?
Yeah.
I missed you. Wow.
Yeah. And it came up out of my soul. And I just kind of like, okay, this guy's going to think I'm weird. I tried to play it off because honestly, I've always been like a dude. Like, I just kind of like, oh, we're going to take this serious. I thought we were just here for the sex,
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
so, I mean,
No,
I'm like,
I get
okay, well, I'm out. I mean, I'm the great runaway bride. So I was just like, what?
Yes.
Why am I telling somebody that I just met, I miss them? So we proceed, and you could tell them why you were laughing.
I was laughing because it was a laugh of this could be something good or this could go totally wrong. My whole life, my spirit guides have always told me the crazy redhead is your life. And I've dated some in the past and they've been actually more crazy. So than good for me. And I'm like, okay, here we go again. Because when I saw her, like she said, the feeling came over me is this person's going to be part of my life in some way or another. And let's see where this goes. And, it's just that friendship built from there. It was always a friendship for a while before it turned into something else.
Yeah. And so we started working together.
That's usually a good foundation, right?
Yeah.
It was. I mean, and the first night there that we were together,
Yeah.
we did a podcast, and we had everybody set up like Hollywood squares the whole way through the house. So we're in the basement, and the podcast is over. We're in the basement, and I get a hot poker feeling through the back of my shoulder, and I went, ow. And he looks at me and he goes, what is it? I said, I just got stabbed by a hot poker. So it feels like maybe like I was shot or something. And on the spirit box, this woman starts talking. And I said, where are you? She goes, under the boxes. And, then she proceeded, like she said his name. And, it was you who said she wants to cross over, correct? Yeah, he goes, she wants to cross.
Well, a lot of people that know me, that have known me for years, if they've ever investigated with me, you'll hear through the spirit box, the spirits call my name over and over again. Tom, Tom, Tom. My spirit guides have a deal with any spirit that is ready to cross over and needs assistance, just call my name. So that way I know they're ready to go. And I'm not passing somebody over that doesn't need to go yet, that's not ready. These are people that are ready. She was ready.
Yeah, so he said she's ready to cross. Now, he's holding the camera at this time. We have Greg Nicholas was there, and we have another medium that I will remain nameless who was there. We're going to nameless. And this nameless one goes, I've crossed over before. There's steps and there's a light and walk up to it. And I'm like, no. That's not what she wants.
My head dropped.
He did. He dropped. His head just dropped. I go, no. I said, she wants daisies. And all of a sudden he made eye contact with me and he went, uh-huh. And I said, yes, she wants daisies. So I started walking her through this beautiful field of daisies and feeling the wind and the flowers brushing her leg and smelling the flowers and hearing the birds and the sunshine. And as I'm talking to her, walking through this field of daisies with her, all of a sudden she goes, I'm here. It's beautiful. Thank you. Bye. And she bopped out.
Yep. And then from there,
the way was to be shown the way.
Exactly.
Wow.
But then from there, we proceeded to help 7 more spirits
Yeah.
transition that
So
night.
what did this guy or girl say when that happened? Did they go, holy shit, you were right? I mean, because that was
Well, no, he just stopped talking. He realized that, okay, let me let them do their thing. They seem to have a little bit more, which was good. So we helped 7 more spirits cross over that night. And the reason why we say that's 8 total. The crazy part was we're upstairs or where we were downstairs doing this. There was another medium outside and then asked us later, what were you guys doing in the house? I said, what do you mean? She says, I watched 8 shadow figures walk out the front door and down the street. So,
Yeah.
Not knowing what you did. This is
Not knowing what we did.
and this is in publication, just so you know, the history and haunting of the Enfield House of Connecticut. Okay. I know I'm naming it, but there's a chapter about us, what we did.
No way. I was trying to decipher when you said Connecticut. I went right to Southington where the haunting in Connecticut was, the old funeral home. I didn't know.
Yeah, that's where I grew up, at Southington. That's where I grew up.
By there. Oh, real quick, guys, hold on. I'm not ignoring you guys. Sorry, Ashley, Jesus, hello.
Hello, guys.
You guys know the
My girl. Hi,
There's
Bill.
Bill Slevin. Yeah.
Bob,
Bob.
I love
amazing. You're
that.
the fucking man. Dude, I met
Oh,
Bob
he's the best.
at a
He's the
convention at
best.
the Warren Con, I think, right? Thomas with his flirting game with pretty ladies, Amanda. Hey, Thomas flirts with guys too. Thomas gave me a better hug than my own fucking dad gave me, so fuck off. I'm just I thought this was a
I flirt with everybody.
Oh, what's up? That's it. That's what I'm saying. Anita, so check this out. This chick's from Maine. She's going to be on my show like in 2 months. She was in the movie Graveyard Shift, Stephen King's Graveyard Shift.
No.
Oh, really? That's awesome.
Oh, yeah,
That's
local
awesome.
chick, local older lady. And
Sammy.
love you, crazy redhead, Sammy.
Yeah.
Loves the crazy redhead.
Sammy said, I love you, crazy redhead.
Hello.
Sammy.
So,
Yeah.
so what had happened is Tom and I just clicked.
Brian. Oh, hold on, one more time. Oh, Lawrence is
Hi, Lauren, sweetie. That's my girl.
Yeah. Oh, we've got a lot of
makes
people.
world of you. We also showed
Oh,
names of
Sammy's,
Satanic
he's
Temple,
amazing.
And then I
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was quite a night. Maybe we'll get into that one.
Yeah,
So,
we can get into the Satanic Temple. That was interesting.
We're flying. All right. Okay, we'll bring you guys on in a minute. I want to let her talk, guys. But keep the comments coming. I'll bring you guys on. Just give me time. But go ahead.
So Tom and
I
I,
love you guys,
we stayed in the same bedroom. The front bedroom of the house is like Ricky and Lucy. There's these tiny little, wow, we're getting spiritual and crazy. There's like single beds. So we went to bed.
Ricky Ricardo.
Yeah, it's literally like Ricky and Lucy style, in that front bedroom.
there's two single beds like spaced apart. Yeah, I know, exactly.
So
I'm sorry, that was awesome.
So we're laying in bed, and I mean, we're seeing the door open, we're seeing lights popping, and we're giggling like crazy.
Oh, little girl spirit came up to watch us from the door.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, I saw an African shaman shaking a rattle. This whole room was active all night. So let me go back. The first night, I was actually at the Oliver House in Massachusetts. I was doing a gallery and an investigation. So it was the first night I spent at this house by myself. Second night I was at the Oliver House, and he was in bed before I got there. So I slept in the bed closest to the door. So I really don't know him at this point. I come in, I'm like, the dude took my bed. I'm like, damn it. So I have to go to the back bed. I get ready for bed. I go to bed.
Hold on a second.
Okay.
There's a reason for that.
I know there is.
Those of you that know.
Oliver House, you talking? You went to bed?
No. After the Oliver House,
She
yeah.
came back.
Yeah.
I was in the bed that she took the night before because I was somewhere else the night before, and then I came over.
Oh.
The reason why is spiritually, when you are asleep or your soul leaves or it astral projects, anything like that, sometimes it might think you're dead and it tries to take you away. It always goes for the person closest to the door. So that's why, as a gentleman, I slept in the bed closest to the door. So
Yeah. So
Oh.
So what had happened is I woke up to something on top of me at this house, pulling my jaw down. I'm fighting it off, and I get it off of me. I get up, I look around the room, and I go over to him. I'm like, Tom, I was just attacked. Now, this dude is
spiritually attacked. So
I was being spiritually attacked. This dude is out. And I went, you're useless. I go back in bed and I'm like, do I want to lay this way? What if it attacks me this way? If I want to lay this way, what if I lay on my back? So I just laid on my back. I went to sleep. And then in my sleep, all of a sudden I see his face. He goes, you called? I said, well, where were you? He goes, I was traveling. It just took me a little time to get back. Move over. So spiritually, we were connected.
Yeah.
So the next day, once again, we're doing work in the house. And by this time, Gina's up. Now, Gina has known me for almost 20 years. She is, the other person that helped, create Wardruna. She's a great girl. She looks at me.
She's coming on a couple months.
Oh my God, she is amazing. You're going to love her.
Yeah.
So she says, can I see you outside? And I said, yeah, sure. Not a problem. I go outside. I said, what's up? She goes, what's between you and Tom? I said, nothing. Why? She goes, no, there's something between you and Tom. I'm like, am I acting inappropriate? She went, no, not at all. And she goes, you two knew each other in a past life. As she's telling me this.
What?
Yeah.
At the same time, Samaya's there wondering the same thing.
Yes, Samaya's.
You've known her for lifetimes.
Yeah.
Saying the same thing that somebody else is saying, Gina's saying to her in a totally different area of the house.
Yeah.
Which you guys both knew, but it's like, well, I'm saying it, so what does it matter? But if someone else, two people,
Yeah.
Yeah,
To me, it made sense why I said, I miss you.
yeah.
So once again, we are up in the bedroom and we're giggling and laughing. So this is actually the second night he stayed in the room, but the first night he was awake.
Yeah.
And we start seeing things and he's like, this is like sleepaway camp. And he named it Lake Titicaca.
yes.
So we were giggling, like crazy. Now, and I have to say, I was in a very, my marriage was rough. We were already ending it, just kind of like going through the motions, living on different floors. And, he also,
Yeah, I went through what I had to, we were both going through something at the time. But the thing is we became friends.
Yeah.
And we helped each other navigate the trauma and stress of it. And I think a lot of that helps us with how we work WARDRUNA too.
yes.
We actually were working each other through the WARDRUNA process to help each
No
other.
shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not knowing that down the road after we found peace and separation from what was going on in our lives and we found each other, but, so that's
Well,
why we're,
I think not to cut you off, but honestly, dude, my first date was with Heather. Was the day that her divorce was finalized, and we've been together for 8.5 years. So, but the thing is, like she says, is we do things together that her and her husband. I knew both of you. Well, Thomas more, but Thomas didn't do anything with his significant other at all. At all. It was always
Neither did
Thomas.
I.
And that's what I mean. So how much cooler is it to go, hey, I'm going here.
Absolutely.
Let's go. Not,
Yeah,
I'm just going to get back. Like I just.
Yeah.
My estranged husband, we worked through a lot of things. We have a grandchild together and, we've just, we've come to this understanding that, our grandson means the world to us. And, he lives in another state. So when I bring him up here, he's still going to want to see his pappy. We're going
That's
to,
fine.
we're going to work together as that. He knows I'm with Tom. He's dating somebody else. It's a healthier relationship for all of us.
Absolutely.
And, we just keep things very private. We separated privately. I just don't ever put anything out there. All of a sudden people did just see Tom and I together.
yeah, we thought we'd be on your show and explain a little bit to some people.
Yeah.
Not that we have to,
You don't owe anybody shit, dude.
we don't owe anybody. Yeah, exactly. But the thing is, in this industry, it is part of WARDRUNA. We did go through some trauma in our lives and we helped each other, and a bunch of other of our friends like Samaya and Gina helped us also. And we found each other in a proper way, in a healthy way. And that's what we want to help people with WARDRUNA. The same thing. Doesn't matter what you're going through. It doesn't have to be paranormal. WARDRUNA is for everybody, anybody that's out there.
Yeah, as I was going through my separation, I used my therapist, Tony. I have, utilized Larry for hypnosis. I have utilized the Reiki services. So, I created this system based on childhood trauma, abuse, and breaking the generational curses of the family.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I knew where to go back to and get therapy and get help. And a portion of it, I was getting therapy. And I told my estranged husband, I can't physically talk to you, but, I would like, if you need something, you can text me. And that's how we communicated until I felt comfortable in myself and safe enough without being emotional to have a conversation. And we did just have a very beautiful conversation between therapy and being able to be in a healthy way to talk to him. I told Tom it felt like a weight was taken off of me, because I don't want that conflict and fighting. I shared a portion of life with this man, good times, bad times, whatever it is. I want to see the best for him. I don't like to wish ill will on anybody, in this industry. And I want to say this, in this industry, there is a lot of toxicity. And I'm not surprised that WARDRUNA ended up here, because a lot of people have grief and abuse, and a lot of hauntings are trauma. They are
drawn. There are a lot of people are drawn
Yeah.
to the paranormal because of their darkness.
Yeah, the dark, the shadow work they need to do and everything. So I'm not surprised we ended up here. But I have met a lot of mediums along the way, and I know I am good at what I do. I'm low key at it, but I'm good. I don't need to see my name in lights. That is not why I'm here. I am here to put people in the right direction. If I get a client one time and only read them once, and I have, and they go to the therapist and they go to the hypnotist and they do everything they need. I am happy for them. If they come back to me for spiritual life coaching, I am happy for that too. I want to see the growth, but I don't have to, monopolize all their time. There are clients where I said, you know what, for example, like Gina, she's a beautiful brown goddess. And I have said to clients who I think she can help better because of, the demographic, like, here, Gina, you need to talk to them. You can relate to them more than I can. Or, I think you need a male, like go to Larry, or Larry sends them to me. It's not about ego. And I've met mediums along the way. It's like, where did you come from? And, and I just said this to John Zappis the other day. Do you realize how many goddamn people have, Johnny Zappis, great. I'm like, do you realize how many goddamn people have lived on this earth since the beginning of time? There are more than enough ghosts for all of us mediums to talk to.
You're not wrong.
I don't understand why it's a fight. And not that, you can't help everybody.
Yeah.
Even if there was a medium.
You guys don't, most people, sorry to cut you off, most people kind of like, it's funny, everything that you stand for is the opposite of what you see. No one refers no one to anybody else. I can handle all your problems. And that's not true. We all have different gifts. For you to refer someone to Samai or to Gina or to Thomas, I had to.
That's the true shamanic ethic code. That's what a true shaman does. It puts people in the right hands of the right healers. You can't do it all yourself. If you try to even do it yourself, that's ego. And then, pardon me, you're just, stepping on your own dick and you're not healing the right person. We're not playing that, we don't play this game.
That's what WARDRUNA is built on. We have we like to call it a Rolodex.
It's a Rolodex.
There's all these people involved. Okay. If I go and do an investigation and I feel they have PTSD, I could refer them to somebody that's going to know better. I have a psychology background. Yeah. Can I deal with that? Yes. But under the context and under what we're covered under, we get a certified or a licensed therapist to be able to deal with them. Or if they just want to get a reading, they're having a problem with some past trauma with dad, maybe, Stacia would be good with them, or one of the other mediums that might have, let's say the guy was in the military and I have a medium that was in the military. I want to put him with them because it's a different understanding.
Gina was in the Navy, so we could pass.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is not about who does the best. The one thing when anybody comes in as a practitioner of WARDRUNA is, Tom, Gina, and I tell them right away, there is no ego. Every single practitioner has their own business. We are literally just a Rolodex of really good practitioners that utilize each other's services.
And even the ones that aren't involved in WARDRUNA, like you said, people that are just like maybe just outside, like me, or Asia. I mean, she's not a fit. You have other people too that are associates, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm looking, I see Kenneth Drake, I see Samaya, I see all these people I know and friends with. I go, some big names. I got to get some people. People love you. I get them. They want to say hi. So Samaya says, got the whole gang in here. Stacey Rennie, my favorite people. I haven't talked to her.
Oh, I love Stacey.
Yeah.
Let's see. RBS in the house.
Yeah. RBS in the house.
Yeah. The Perez's are involved. You have Father Bob and Father Ken. Both of them are involved for spiritual counseling. There are times when somebody just needs to talk to a priest. Why do I have two very good priests, that are on speed dial for me? Here you go.
And again, the priests we have involved, again, like I said, with Father Bob, I know does some stuff. Father Ken and all that, it doesn't have to do with the paranormal. Yeah. Father Ken is there for anybody.
Spiritual guidance.
He's a spiritual guidance counselor that we could refer.
Yeah.
It's not, again, we are involved in the paranormal because we see there's a need for what we do in that. But there's also anybody outside of it. People have to heal. They don't have to be part of the paranormal.
Hey, I'm a New England if you have any New England history, you need me. I'm your researcher.
There you go.
That's perfect.
I get your back.
And we've been very blessed, to have the mentor of Johnny Zappis. What an amazing stand-up man. So much wisdom in one skull.
Yeah.
And, anytime I just need to talk something out or get an idea, he's there. Right now, I mean,
very humble, very cool, very talkative.
He's amazing. This calendar year is set, but next year we are looking to do a retreat. And we've been bouncing this off of, off of John.
Yep.
And what we're looking at several different locations, but we're looking at doing, giving Reiki certifications and having counselors there and meditation and yoga. But we're also looking to have, a motivational speaker. We are going to be in talks with, a pretty big name in the industry that is, to me, I've listened to him. He's amazing to listen to. So I really do hope we, can make a deal on this. But, we are looking at places of, either West Virginia up in the mountains or maybe Mesa, Arizona, but doing, like a 4-day retreat.
Yeah, where everybody's together, they could learn about the services of WARDRUNA, showing them how we put them through the process, and just like other stuff, other spiritual type of things that people are interested in that helps their life maybe complete their journey or complete their life just by listening and taking in what they listen for their own good.
Yeah.
Again, it's just like I've told you before, Adam, when I deal with what I do best by helping spirits transition, I give them words. Spirit works through me, gives me the words to say to them, but they have to make the decision if they want to, leave or not. And that's what you have to do. It's not up to me. It's up to them. They have the free will. And it's just like us as human beings. Yeah, us as human beings. Yeah. If you want help and you're ready to get help, WARDRUNA is the place to be. We're going to give you that help and put you in the right direction with the right people. But ultimately, you still have to take what you learn and what you process to be able to make that transition in your own life in a better direction.
We just think a retreat where we have so many practitioners under one roof for, X amount of days to put, people who want this, hardcore, boot camp workshop to, get, on the right life path. So that is something we are looking at for 2027. I have to say, Tom has done.
Next year.
Yeah, next year. Yeah. Yeah, because that takes a lot of planning.
This year is a lot of talking at a lot of different areas of the United States to get the word out and build up a little bit more. We're building little by little. We want to make sure that the foundation is there, because just like anybody else with a great foundation is the great word, and there's the great path to lead to what we want to do is help people realize that, hey, it's not all doom and gloom. Let's figure out life and find the more positive and uplifting part of yourself.
We got to find the right. Oh, look, Ken Torres has a retreat filled with glorious weirdos.
Yes.
Father Ken. Dude, I've been talking to Father Ken since I had my show on Historically Haunted Show. He had a show with me back 7 years ago. I've talked to this guy. Great guy. Him. West Coast guy. I don't get a chance to hug him, but his heart's where it is. He knows his stuff spiritually. Great ally. Good for you guys.
He does.
He is. We look forward to talking to him on the phone because he always has something to say that makes us think and puts us back on the right path. He's such a great person to have. He is very grounded.
And
an enlightening cruise.
Yes.
And I have to thank both fathers, because both Father Bob and Father Ken were there for me when I was going through everything with my marriage. They were my spiritual counselors. And I didn't realize apparently Tom was also utilizing their services.
Tom fucking knows everybody, dude.
So now we know that, but they helped me, because I do take marriage vows very serious, and I wasn't the one, who ended it, but I am so grateful because both of us are in a better, happier spot. And now we can just be happy individuals, healthy individuals.
You don't wish negativity. You don't wish something. That's not. No. I got to ask you, what are you guys burning? Sage? What do you got? Incense? What the fuck's going on?
Yeah.
Yes.
We are burning
frankincense
and myrrh, which I know is Father Bob's favorite.
That is my go-to. That's my favorite.
God, Jesus on his birthday, man. Frankincense.
Yes.
Myrrh. Oh, I love it. I wish I could smell it.
Smells good.
It's amazing.
Yeah, we've already got 35 minutes. We've got 15 people watching. Okay. So we're gonna do some fun questions real quick. I gotta just get fun because that's what I do. Stacia, give me. I actually want to know this myself because I'm a big Stephen King guy. I may have asked you before, but I forget. What's your favorite Stephen King book and/or movie? Being from Maine, living right 45 minutes from his house, I'm a big Stephen King guy.
Oh, wow. Because I have so many. I'm going to tell you my favorite book because it's the first Stephen King. No, well, Shining is my favorite movie.
Okay.
But the book is it. That was
Ooh.
the first Stephen King book I read in 8th grade. And it literally just, to me, I still remember the emotions that I felt and how I felt when I tried to go to bed at night, and terrified of
middle
this
school?
clown. I remember it. I mean, it was, my brother actually got it from Scholastic Bookshelf. You remember that?
Fairs. I used to love those.
So he was in sixth grade. I was in 8th grade. So my brother buys this book. It should have never been on the shelf because it was the uncensored version with like the molestation and everything in it.
Yeah, they have the.
So I looked at it. I wanted it. I told on him for having it. Then my mom gave it to me because she said boys shouldn't read that, but it was okay that I could read it. And I was older and I was more mature, so I got his book. So that's really how my first Stephen King book played out.
What a fucking memory that is. That's fantastic. You guys still laugh about that, I bet.
I just remember how it made me feel. I mean, it was, but you know what? I was such a Stephen King fan. My son's first book that he read was in 4th grade was Cujo. And he was actually my son had a gifted IQ. It was 158. He was highly intelligent and he could read on a level like nobody could at, a young age. So to me, giving him Cujo was an advanced book and he understood it. Oh my heavens. I was on the school board and this teacher ripped into me. Yeah, I was on the school board. I was a school board parent. Yeah. And I have a whole political background that we try not to talk about.
Yeah.
And yeah. So anyways, the teacher called and said, this is not age appropriate. I said, well, why is it not age appropriate? And she said, he can't read this. So I had to hurry, try to find him a book that would stimulate him. And, he could do this report on. So I actually did. It was The Book Thief, which is actually a very good book. And so anyways, that's what he did is, very good book. There was a movie out on it and it had like a lot of Italian in it. So he liked languages. He spoke 5 languages. So it was very, it was something he could, wasn't bored on.
Holy shite. 5 languages.
When I raised a kid, I raised a kid.
I was going to say, you raised a village. Thomas, I think I know your answer, but for those that are just tuning in, because we got 15 people watching, we get some new people. If you ever read Stephen King book and or movie, I already know the answer. But
you already know Salem's Lot, and for those of you that don't know,
vampire flick.
Exactly. If people don't know, the story is this movie was a 2-parter back in I think it was 79 or 78. Yeah, 78. 78. I was 7 years old. My sister was 8, and my brother was 3 years older than me. So it was he makes him 10. So back then, Generation X, parents didn't care. They threw you in front of the TV and say, here you go, don't kill each other. So we're watching this. We're watching this. And then the scene with the little boy coming to the window with the whites of his eyes and telling Timmy, let me in, Timmy.
Yeah.
I couldn't sleep for weeks. And people ask me, like, even doing the paranormal, do you get scared? And I says, no. I said, Salem's Lot scared the shit out of me, so I'll never be scared again.
So I'll tell you what, the part that bothered me on Salem's Lot is when the little boy reaches out with the scalpel and cuts the Achilles.
No, that was Pet Sematary.
Pet Sematary. Okay, sorry, Pet Sematary. So that part. Stephen King, literally, me as a child, terrified me. I would have to jump into bed. So there was many nights, thank you, Stephen King, I jumped into bed because something was going to be under it.
But I love that you guys embrace the dark side, though, because the dark side is not all roses. As much as we love it to be funerals and quiet and peaceful, you guys go into some hairy shit head first, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
You guys go into real horror movies. So
Yeah. We do.
You know what I mean?
Well, that's even in what we do as WARDRUNA. A lot of people say, oh, the light, the dark, and all that. Think of it this way. Let's put it into perspective in sports or something. If anybody, I know I don't want to bore anybody with sports, but this is the way I look at it. You're into the light. You're trying to heal people. If you don't know what the enemy is doing, the darkness, their playbook, you can't help people.
You're right.
Even my mentors, Ed and Lorraine, knew about all that stuff, even though they didn't talk about it as much in their public speaking, but behind the scenes, they had to see what somebody doing the dark arts or anything like what they were doing.
Well, they could talk
You
about
know?
back then being in that house. Nowadays,
Yeah,
it's-
but exactly. But what are you supposed to do if this person is doing this negative? How are we going to reverse it with the positive? So if
Yeah.
we don't know what they did, how are we going to take it apart?
I always say how I do my practice is literally like the book of Job. And do you know what the book of Job is in the Bible,
That's
where,
part of
you
the
know,
Bible,
you got
right?
God
Yeah.
talking, yeah, and the devil talking. So what happens is when a client comes in front of me, and this is different, you know, like I said, I'm a Mulfor, I'm a shaman. And I usually just say clairvoyant medium because it's sometimes too hard to wrap around, you know, what a shaman is and what they do. But, you know, I look at a person sitting in front of me and I have the ancestors talking to me, but then I see where I call these familiar demons, where the trauma creeps in, where it hurt the line, where it caused the damage, what the damage was. I maybe get an uncle apologizing for what he did, or dad apologizing for being an alcoholic or leaving the situation, or mom not being, you know, emotionally stable. But then I can see what the trauma, it starts telling me, well, I'm going to do this to them. And I'm on a mad, you know, I just run towards them quickly and say, this is what you need. And it's up to them. Are they going to take the help, or are they going to cave into those, you know, family demons? But I give them all the resources, and then, you know, I'll send them text messages. I send them encouraging messages, you know, I check in on them. And there's even times where I might, you know, get the feeling of somebody, and I'll send them a message, you know, do you have a minute to talk? I was thinking about you. And I'll talk to them. I'm like, listen, I'm not looking for money. I don't solicit my services, but are you okay? Well, I needed to talk to you. And I might stay on the phone for 2 hours, no charge.
Wow.
But I reached out to them because I felt that.
Mhm.
And so it isn't just I shut the door on these people when they, you know, when they walk out. I mean, there are many cases. We just had one in New Hampshire where we didn't make any,
I mean,
yeah, we didn't make any money on it. You know, we had a young man who had drugs in the car. He was hearing a demon in the back. He wanted to
We
take
can hear
his,
it breathing
yeah.
over his shoulder on the
I mean, death was right there knocking. And I said, do not smoke those drugs. I'm feeling fentanyl. Don't do this. You are going to die. We were there when he threw the drugs away. He was on the phone with them. I called, you know, the therapist that we use here in Ohio. I need help. She goes, get him to the hospital. I called the emergency room. We were there until he walked into the hospital.
I negotiated with him on the phone as
Yeah.
he drove to the hospital, and I made sure he got there.
And I'm doing all the back end work. And, you know, I'm talking to social work saying, this is what's going on. And we were on the phone with him up until, you know, they were ready to commit him. And they're like, it's time to give us the phone.
wow.
Yeah.
He's doing better now.
Yeah,
You saved his life, boss. I mean, really comes down to it. He'd probably be
Yeah.
6 feet deep right now.
yeah. And pretty much what we were feeling on him, that intensity of it, I think either that drugs he took that day or the next day would have killed him.
Yeah. I mean, you could feel it right there.
You
It
felt
was-
death on him.
it was
that
right
breathing
there.
in the back. Death was breathing over his shoulder. I can
Wow.
actually hear it coming through the phone.
Yeah, it was right there. And we went into, so I mean, a lot of times where people have fallen off the wagon, or, you know, they've just had, you know, traumatic experience. I've also had family members who've called me and says, my aunt's missing. She has Alzheimer's, and I'm dropped down on the ground and say, let's find her. And, you know, and then, you know, I'm scanning the area saying what I feel and what I don't feel. So, you know, it has so many layers to it. We do a lot of work even around here where we have ceramic shops. I have this great little place in Painesville called the Crafty Workshop. We get together, we make taco bars for these people. We do the taboo deaths. We do victims of narcissistic abuse. We did one last Valentine's Day where it was everybody had lost their spouse. It was their first Valentine's alone. And we'll have the Reiki healer there. We'll have the therapist there. We paint ceramics. They buy their own ceramics. We give them tacos. But it is about community. Yeah, it's about community and giving back. We do things with, you know, the police, with the advocacy program. We're going to be doing something, and he's going to talk about here with one of our events here in Cleveland, but we're going to be doing a workshop based on what I call the taboo deaths. And the taboo deaths really means a lot to me because my son falls in under this category of overdose. So the taboo deaths to me are overdose and suicides. they're the deaths that when people go, oh, you lost your child. How did your child die? If you say overdose or suicide, you'd be surprised how many go, oh, it's like it's that, they don't want to talk about it and they walk away. Why is mental health or drug addiction? Because so many people get addicted to painkillers, and it changes the makeup of their mind. Why is that any different than cancer or, it's a disease? And so I'm trying to break through a lot of this taboo down.
Man, and every time, and especially, not to cut you off, but in Maine is a big homelessness thing. Everybody's like, wow, that's what they chose as drugs. It's like, you don't even know this guy's situation. You might become a druggie.
Yeah, no, exactly.
My mom died, and all I do is smoke weed, so fuck you. But everybody's quick to just think they're better.
That's exactly it.
It is. Unfortunately, what we see going on in the world, people are very judgmental before they hear everything come out. You got to know both sides of the story, but still, none of us are in any position. We're all sinners. Let's just put it that way. Nobody's perfect, and none of us should be judging anybody. We should be offering help if it's available and if they want help.
So, since Tom said, people are judgmental, I'm going to lead into our event coming at the end of the month, okay?
Oh, yes, please do promote some stuff.
Yes. So July 27th, we have teamed up with the influencer group Culture Swap. Have you?
This February.
Yeah, I'm sorry. What did I say?
You said July.
Oh my God. What did I say? July. Sorry.
The end of this month.
Wow, where did that come from? February 27th. Oh my God.
Told me about them. I want to get them on the podcast this summer, but you told me about them. They're pretty funny. Yeah.
Yes.
Not July, guys. February.
Yeah, February 27th. We are going to be doing an event at my favorite location. So I'm going to say this, Haunted Hillview Manor. That is my favorite spot, to be.
Newcastle, Pennsylvania.
So we are going to take T-Bone and Solo there. It's going to be Gina and I because, you have two gingers and, two beautiful, brown friends.
Yeah.
Going to share the experience of, a haunted location. So it's going to be on YouTube. It's going to be live on Facebook. It'll be live on TikTok. The film crew will be there. These are two amazing men. They have a friendship a lot like Gina and I. Poor Gina, when I met her, she's like, "You're really going to be known." And I went, No. She goes, "No, you really are going to be known." I says, "Well, I'm going to take you along with me." She goes, "No, I'm not doing paranormal." I said, "Yes, you are." She goes, "Don't you realize they always kill the black person in the scary movie first? Like, why are you doing this to me?" So when I called her and told her we were going to the Demon House of Enfield, she went, No. I said, "Listen to me. You're going." She's like, "Okay." So I'm going to tell you, she smoked their ass out there. One of the best things ever is Gina saging that house.
Yeah.
So
there's at one point she saves it so bad. Stacey's about 5 feet in front of me. I couldn't see her.
It's like a Willie Nelson concert.
he was smoking every spirit out of that house.
Yeah.
Good, bad, and otherwise.
Yeah. Oh, that was so fun.
Stacia said that she loves you, kid. I love you very much.
love you, Stacia. She's my girl. She really is. She has
she's
a
so
beautiful,
exciting.
she's a great person. Oh, Ashley too. I mean, I'm telling you what.
Ashley actually is one of the organizers at Hillview Manor.
Yes.
She does a lot of the events. She organizes for it. Yeah.
That's where I met her. Yeah, that's where I met Ashley.
There with Suvek ran it. I don't know if she's still there or not. Suvek? No.
No. It's Carrie.
Carrie Trico.
Carrie Trico.
She's an amazing.
She owns the place.
So
Okay.
Carrie inherited Hillview through her parents who bought the place. They both passed away. Her and her brother inherited, this facility. And her brother wanted to move forward as, this haunted location. She does such an amazing job there. And she's very open when we were going to take Culture Swap to a haunted house. I'm like, this has to be Hillview. That's where I want to promote this. I want,
one of the best places in Pennsylvania by far.
Oh, it is. It's one of the best places out there.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. It's a nice place to investigate. It's a fun place. It's not, a scary place. it was a poor farm. It was kind of like, an old, and like older folks home. There was like hospice care there, stuff like, it's a nice place to visit and, do an investigation at. So Carrie's like, okay, give me the details. God love Ashley. I will run everything past Ashley. She goes, yeah, let's do this. I want to get more exposure. So we're going to, cross our viewers.
Right.
And, maybe get some more people over at Hillview because it is out there in, Lawrence County, but we do a lot of events there. That's like I call my home base. And I'm going to let Tom talk about all of our events that we're going to be doing.
Well, let's just talk about Hillview right up front. Not only are we doing the live there with Culture Swap, right after that, on March 14th, will be opening day of Hillview Manor when they start doing all the events again. And then from there, there's a psychic fair on June 6th that Stacia will be part of, and a lot of other great psychic mediums and all that promoting the area. And then one of our favorite people in the world will be supporting at Hillview Manor on June 27th. You'll have a day with John Zaffis. And all that. So we're going to have that. And then, of course, HillCon, the famous HillCon, Hillview Manor Convention, that is on August 15th. So we're pretty excited about it. And some other stuff littered in there, some other stuff that isn't quite significantly planned yet. But that's like our major things that are already going.
I'm really excited about the Hollow Film Festival, Horror and Film Festival. We will be speaking. It is really...
that is on August 22nd, so right after HillCon. We'll be going to New Jersey.
Stockton.
Stockton, New Jersey. Stockton College. And it's Hollow, Paracon, and Film Fest. The reason why, we're excited about all the ones we're going to. We'll talk about all of them. But I think what excites us the most is because it's also a fundraiser for mental health,
Correct.
Which is perfect.
That's a big one.
Yes. And see, both of our mothers had mental health issues. I grew up in a family full of generational abuse. And, I was one of the last ones to have a certain kind of abuse, and I kind of put a stop to it. Either relatives love me or they hate me. And I'm okay with that. I don't bother them. I'm there for them if they need me. But,
Anybody, though. No.
Yeah, I just, I'm just like, no, this is ridiculous. And I remember growing up, and I'm going to say this about my mother. She's no longer with us, and I know that she is resting in peace. Tom did cross her over. She was kind of stuck, and it was a beautiful crossing. But the thing is my mother had borderline narcissistic traits and schizoaffective. She was a very broken woman. From the outside, she was crazy. I do know that. It was behind closed doors, and I was the oldest, and I was the target. And there's a lot of abuse that even my siblings didn't know about. So I built a whole system on. I was not going to be like her. I fought that system, and then I needed to heal from that. What went on. And when my mother had pancreatic cancer, I dropped everything and I took care of her.
Wow.
And I took care of her she didn't have a bed sore. She got spa nights, and at one point she did ask me, she goes, Stace, why are you doing this? And I said, Mom, when it's my time to meet the creator, I'm going to get a high five and a gold star.
Wow.
It didn't matter what I went through. That was my mom. And I healed myself enough, and Gina was my backbone. She really was my girl. And, I do remember, I always say this, when I put my mom in a hospital and I was coming back to let her dog out, my son was a senior, there was a little graveyard, and it was the family was there. It was Russian and Byzantine. And there's this crucifix and this altar, and it's outside where they hold services. So I took some frankincense and myrrh. It is November, 9:00 at night in the woods in the Appalachian with no lights. Okay, let's just leave that there. There's like a dirt road to get there. And I light this incense, and I heard a voice over this side of my shoulder. And I heard, you will take the last Eucharist with your mother. Well, not many things scare me. And I turn around, there's nobody there, and I just booked my butt over to my vehicle, and I went home. I called Gina. I'm like, Gina, this is what I heard. And she says, okay, well, how do you feel about it? I said, I felt peace with it, but it was still kind of scary. So the whole entire time, my mother saying, the pastor's going to come give me communion this weekend. I didn't feel him. I stayed every night with my mother, except for the last 3 weeks. She was out of chemo, and I felt her and my dad needed that time. So I would go home at night and then come back during the day. So that morning, it was May 15th. I come in and my mom looks at me and goes, Stace, Pastor Larry's going to give me communion. Are you going to take it with me? I went, no. And I could feel the pastor in movement. I'm like, no. She goes, come on, you haven't fallen that far. I says, Mom, I don't want to have this conversation. I am not taking communion with you today. I run outside with the phone and I'm like in the backyard, like a little kid crying to Gina, like the pastor's coming. I can feel him. She's like, well, you have to take communion. I'm like, I know it's not going to happen. So I go and I walk in the house. As I'm walking in the house, something's pulling my hair, by the way. As I'm walking in the house, the front door opens and I see the pastor. He goes, hey, are you going to take communion today? And I went, yes. I'm like, where the hell did that fall out of my mouth? Now I'm going to look like an idiot if I stay home. I'm like, what the hell? So I
Can't stop the plan.
Yep. I sit down on the couch and, it gives me the body of Christ. I take it and my eyes are closed and I watch this beautiful archway open up and I watch this gorgeous figure walk through towards me. And when I opened my eyes, I looked up and the pastor goes, what did you see? And I just shook my head and he went, bless you, child, the blood of Christ. I was with my mom that day. She was in a lot of pain. I left. I got called pretty late that night that she was taken to the hospital. So now May 16th, she is in the hospital and we had to make the decision to let her go. If we give her the pain meds, she's just going to keep crashing. And she's like, I just want to go be with my babies, which she lost 3 of them. So early in the morning of May 17th, my mother passed away after taking communion with her. And that really hit me. That just, sat me back. But when my son passed away, I was laying on the couch and my estranged husband, I did not know that him and his fiance were pregnant, going to have a baby. They were actually coming home that week to tell me. And, my estranged husband said, Stacia, they're going to have a baby. And I sat up and said, it's a boy and he'll be born May 17th. So come to find out it was a boy and he was due in June. Emergency C-section had him delivered May 17th, the same day my mother died.
Oh my word.
So, the first time Tom told me that, called me out on my crap.
Yeah.
Was May 17th.
It's a gift and wow, get out of here.
Yeah.
Get out
May
of here.
17th, 3 times.
Yeah.
Significant things that have happened.
You guys got to write a book or make a movie or documentary or
We're
something.
doing it. I'm actually, a lot of people don't know, I'm actually writing a book right now. And I'm almost done. I have a few more things I have to do, but I'm finally going to tell people about what I've done my whole life and how I do it and how I've learned from others and what they did and how I came to the conclusion to do what I do to help people make that transition. So, and then there's going to be stories in about it. Each chapter that I talk about something, it'll have to do to one of the times I've helped the Spirit make that transition and how it corresponds.
When
with
he
an hour
was,
with you guys, I'm left with another 2 hours of questions. We're still going to go a little bit
Oh,
over.
we're not going anywhere. We're good.
Listen, we still got a little bit of time. If you guys are watching, you do podcasts, get these guys on your show while you can. Let them promote, let them talk. Ashley was saying that you guys are doing a dinner with spirits in November. I don't know if that's with you guys. Must be. Of course, Paracon, Connecticut, but I'm sure Salem. Anyway, holy shit, Stacia. I'm still wrapping my head around all these deaths and stuff linked with the timing and the birth and then the meeting Thomas, and you guys have got my head spinning. I think I'm done smoking weed till the show's done because I can't handle this. Holy moly. Something new with you guys all the time, man. I love that you never hold them back on me. Anyway, that's all I had to say. Go ahead. We're still going.
Well, if we told you everything, you never want us on your show again.
I would say, well, I tell you, I've told us on 35 times and I'm still learning new shit. Wow, that's wild. Of course, I'm learning stuff about Stacia now. Okay, well, I want to ask you something real quick, something from me. Thomas from Connecticut to Ohio, and I see now, guys, if you guys follow Thomas on TikTok, he does Spooky Facts Ohio like he used to do Connecticut. Of course, Connecticut technically is older, I guess, if you want to say as far as America goes, but land-wise, it's all the same.
Yeah.
Ohio, you're dropping some weird shit on me. Throw me some cool stuff. What you got in Ohio? You're right by Lake Erie, correct? Right back you?
Yeah.
Why
Well,
was that
behind us
Lake
right now, right now, a lot of people don't know is there's the lore in Lake Erie of a Loch Ness Lake monster, like in Scotland, and they call this one Bessie. They actually have each year there's an area in Lake Erie that has a big party, for Bessie. The actual minor league hockey team here is called the Monsters, named after Bessie. They have a picture of them on there. Yeah, so there's a lot of somebody actually put a life-size cutout as a celebration in the middle of Lake Erie for Bessie. So there's a lot of story and lore behind that, which is nice because it's right behind us. I could look out one day and who knows, might see Bessie, who knows.
You see, there's a lot of unidentified lights over the lake. So I did have a lake house and I sat there for hours looking out the back window. As I'm watching the stars move, the sky move, there was just one yellowish green light just there. And I watched it for 2 hours and then all of a sudden it just took off sideways. And I'm like, okay, I saw my first, unidentified little.
Whoa.
Yeah, I was just like, okay. So that was pretty exciting.
Yeah. Right up the street, I just talked about it today on my Weird Spooky Facts, Ohio, is the most sightings of the melonheads started here in Ohio, just up the street from us. Actually, a friend of ours actually lives in Chardon, which is right next to the town where it all started.
That's where it all started. Connecticut.
Yeah, but then Ohio. Connecticut also had melonheads, but there's also a southern part of Michigan. And the thing was, I says, there was couple weeks ago, I talked about how back in the late 1700s, there was the Western Reserve, and Connecticut owned all this land to give people in Connecticut places to live after the war, because a lot of places were burned down. Yeah. So Connecticut actually owned parts of Ohio around Lake Erie, where the melonheads were first saw, and a southern part of Michigan, where they were saw also, those 3 towns. And then in Connecticut, it was isn't it weird that Connecticut owned a place where there was melonheads? Connecticut has melonheads, and that little part of Michigan had melonheads. What are the odds?
Did you say Cleveland too was named after a guy from Connecticut? Cleveland.
Yeah, Cleveland was named after one of those land planners out of New England. Yes. So his last name was Cleveland. It was spelled differently, but it still ended up being Cleveland the way it's spelled now.
What are the odds?
We have an amazing beach not far from us called, the Headlands. You can sit there and you can literally get jaspers and quartz crystals and rose quartz roll about. It sits on top of the Morton salt mine. That's why we get the earthquakes, because, basically the salt mines gave. But, this,
salt.
when you want to talk about grounding, is you have the water, you have the salt mines, it is just, to me, it's a beautiful place. I've been to a lot of places and I traveled the power plant circuit. I was a contractor. Oh. And I had my own contracting company and I was one of the only females, in the power plants. And I came up here to Avon Lake. I came here to East Lake. I fell in love with the area. Cleveland, they really have fixed it up and it's a tiny little gem of a place. It has so much to do. You have concerts, during the summer, you have the ocean. I'm not the ocean, but you have the beaches with, with the lake. I'm sorry.
Oh, the lake is so big.
It looks like an ocean. Yeah. But you have snake mounts. The metro parks here are amazing. They have all kinds of festivals. It's just, when him and I got together, I looked at him, I said, I'm not moving from Cleveland. There's just, I'm staying right here. I don't know how you want to make this work.
I was already ready to get out of Connecticut because I can't stand the traffic there. It gives me PTSD. Even when we go back for events now, it's you're back in Connecticut. We could drive scot-free from Cleveland through, we go through Cleveland, from Ohio into Pennsylvania.
See what Ashley has to say about this.
And you know what happens? As soon as you hit the border, traffic. Doesn't matter what time of the day it is. And it's huge traffic.
Connecticut and Boston are probably the Connecticut and honestly Massachusetts. Salem sucks. So Massachusetts is right up there too. Salem's pretty rough. Salem
Yep.
State University in October. Good plan, guys. Good. Fucking
Yeah.
3 hours to get there.
But no, I tell you, Ohio's great to the point where you got everything out here. You got UFO sightings. It's one of the most documented people seeing Bigfoot is in Ohio woods. So you got everything. Melon heads, like I said. The one thing that's really cool, and I know I'll talk about it, but I'll talk about it on your show. I'll probably do it on one of my TikToks and all that. It has the world's largest serpent effigy in Peoples, Ohio. It's over a 1/4 mile long. Scientists look at it, and scientists can't determine. They've done all the carbon dating and all that. Somewhere between 2,000 and 3,000 years old. So they put that into some of the indigenous tribes at the time, and those ancestors won't even say that their people built it. Science doesn't know who built it. There's so many different tribes that left tools on this effigy and all that. And it's still there. You could go visit it, but nobody seems to know. Even people look at it as a religious symbol to the point where the serpent shows the Garden of Eden. So there's a religious context. There's an astrological context. Maybe it's there to coincide with the way the stars move, the planets move. Nobody can lay claim to what it is and how long it's been there. They can't come to 100% conclusion. And the Indian tribes won't even lay claim to it either. They don't know who built it.
Yeah.
So, hey, maybe it was aliens. That's why we get so many UFOs coming up and down and all that. So it's really bizarre. And I'm glad I'm telling you now because I don't think I could do that in 1 minute. Explain all
that needs a little bit more explanation.
You know?
But even Joseph Smith for the Mormon, he's from Ohio. And this is where he found, the 10 Commandments. So, I mean, there's a lot of, the energy here. I was drawn to the energy here. To me, it's amazing.
So this is where flights
You're not from Ohio, Stacia?
No, I'm actually from Johnstown, Pennsylvania.
Oh, get out of here. I didn't know that. Well, it's right next door, but still, it's not the same state.
Yeah, I'm from the Appalachians.
Oh, right on. Okay, you're a Pennsylvania girl.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't know is flight started in Ohio. A lot of people don't realize that the Wright brothers were born in Ohio.
Oh, I thought it was the Carolinas. No shit.
No, that's where they did the flight was there, but they were born in Ohio.
Okay.
But the first John Glenn and Neil Armstrong were both born in Ohio. The first people to go out, onto the moon and things like that.
Wow.
So you have all that. Plus,
If you believe that.
if you believe they were actually went to the moon. But also, over 8 presidents were born in Ohio. That's the most out of any state in the whole country. So it's Ohio's the mother of presidents. So
I
Yeah,
guess you're right. Yeah.
you want me to keep blowing your mind?
Oh my God, let's go.
Cleveland was the first city to have streetlights.
Oh my fucking God.
Yep. So that's another weird one. How about the first ever police car? And it was electric. And it went a whole 13 miles an hour. So I guess you could get away from the cops then.
Oh my fucking God. Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's wild.
I could throw all kinds of shit at you. Of course, when I moved here, me being the guy I am, like you are.
You started up your TikTok again with your spooky back, and you switched over. I said, oh, here we go. Hold on a minute. Danny's checking in. What's up, Danny? Serpent Mount, he says.
Yep. Yep.
Christina Spencer, what's up, Chica? What's up, Lisa?
Gina.
Mr. Haunted himself.
Jimmy.
Oh, Jimmy P. How you feeling, buddy?
Jimmy, we love Jimmy, and we hope he's on the mend. He had a little accident, broke a rib, and
he's a
so of course I keep sending him raccoon videos to make him laugh, make his rib hurt even more.
That'll help.
That's because we love him.
Jimmy, what's up, Beja? He's still checking in. Also, too, I saw real quick, former sponsor and guest, and Mary Kay, actress. What's up,
Mary Kay?
Hello. I want to give her a shout out there in Nevada, part of the Clown Motel. What's up, Brendan Golding, Viper Paranormal?
Nice. Brendan's always good.
You guys have people. You have such supporters because you support so many people. Okay, I want a fun one. What are you guys for a bucket list? Stacia, where do you see yourself if you had a golden ticket to fucking Germany, Italy, Russia, Ireland, Egypt, Mexico? I mean, where's someplace? Jimmy says thank you with a smiley face. You get him laughing even in comments, Thomas. Cut it out.
I
What's your
would
bucket list,
say,
Carol?
well, you know, it would be Lake Titicaca.
Lake Titicaca, the real Lake Titicaca.
There is a real
Not,
one. That's
not,
right.
not the
There is-
beginning of, it's funny, Lake Titicaca is when we made that name up for when we first met. So the funny joke now is that's where our love story basically started, was the joke about Lake Titicaca. We actually made t-shirts with a ghost in a boat and it said Lake Titicaca on
Oh,
it.
get out of here.
Yeah, we'll send you it. So
Yeah.
we gave them out as gifts to people,
Yep.
and we do want to make more items. So we just said we wanted people to wear our love affair.
Yeah.
I'll wear my
They
show.
didn't know it, but
Yeah. They didn't, we had a lot going on. We weren't ready to come out and talk about it, but a lot of people knew, they knew, they felt it on us.
you know what the thing is you thought we were together even before we were together. And actually, when I saw him on your podcast was actually the second time I saw him. That was it.
Mhm.
That was only the second time that I actually visually saw him after, the Connecticut, filming that we did. We talked a lot. We were working because I saw a need for him in WARDRUNA. I was doing so much and I didn't want to have to keep doing every part. And I kept getting these, house calls. And I just said, listen, Gina and I are working so much. Would you like to oversee this? And you also have haters throwing shade at you and everything. And I'm just like, can you just take care of these problems? Can you,
You got the right guy. Remember, you got the Irish hitman.
Yeah.
Remember what I told you? Don't mess with the guy that knows too much about serial killers.
I was just gonna say, don't talk to the serial killer guru. He knows how to hide a body. But
I'm
anyway,
kidding, everybody. Don't take it to heart. Come on.
he did such an amazing job of taking things off of mine and Gina's plates and just running with the business, letting us work. Everybody, contacts him if there's a house case. He talks to, the group that's going to investigate the house. If I'm needed as a medium, I just drop in, and see what I pick up energetically before I go to the location, even if I need to go to the location. So I just, sometimes I don't even have to leave the house. I just give to him, what I'm picking up. And we'll have to tell him about the Glebe house, what I picked up.
Okay.
Yeah, I blew his mind when he started realizing that I could, astral project, drop myself into places. But he's just done an amazing job. The event calendar that he has set up for us, talking, from New Orleans to, Salem and everything in between. And I'm going to tell
New Orleans is going to be great. I've never been there. It was on the bucket list. So if we're talking about bucket list places,
Yeah.
let's just say New Orleans, one of the most haunted cities in the country.
Oh,
So I want to make sure everybody's there. We know our buddy James is going to be there with us, Stokes and Sammy Stokes. We'll be hanging out. There's a lot of it. Father Bob's going to be there. Bill Slevin will be there. So there's a lot of our friends that are going to be there. Now, I think Lee Trainer Brown will be there also, and Brandon Cooper. But there's a lot. You just have to go on the website, the NewOrleansParacon.com. That's on July 31st through August the 2nd. And you can't get better than that. One of the most haunted cities, the lore of voodoo and all that.
I'm excited, it'll be, Gina and, the two of us.
Yep.
But
Gina's
yeah,
gonna be there
he
with
has
us.
done, he really has done an amazing job. I do want to plug Hillview one more time. If anybody
Please do.
wants, anybody wants an amazing place to go, just go to, Haunted Hillview Manor's website and check out their event calendar. John Zaffis, coming, on, June 27th is going to be amazing. I'm really excited about that. But yeah, we do.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff coming up, and I
Well,
know
it's on your
people are gonna
page
have.
on this, right? Your page is public. You do take friend requests.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have a Facebook page for events quite yet. Historically,
Yeah.
booking I'm going to share, but a lot of things you and Charles and STACIA.
Yeah, we got some cool stuff that our buddy Melissa Serafine that works with Charles and I to get all these ads out. She does a great job. Chaotic Goods. I want to give her a plug, of course, if anybody needs any assistance. Yeah, Melissa's Serafine. So, but the thing is Connecticut Paracon, a lot of changes this year. It's going to be exciting. We got some stuff coming up. Of course, we don't release everything at once. We
July,
like to
right?
tease.
That is
We
July.
like to tease you. July 11th, we're going to tease you the whole way. we're gonna work you up till orgasm and stuff. So
Well,
yeah.
Real quick, guys. Thomas and WARDRUNA sponsor the whole year podcast, and he's even the convention is sponsoring all of June. So you're gonna we're gonna get him and we're gonna get Charles back on. Thomas has been there for me behind the scenes. I'm not gonna say shit, but he's helped me out. Even when I'm feeling down, I'll get a call from Thomas or fucking Kenneth Drake or even Raf Munoz and Diego. And you guys are like, what's going on, man? So I appreciate you. And of course, Stacia's been pretty much like a good friend. And I don't never. Oh, look at Samai. T wearing the Binky Blinders hat. Do you guys care?
Yeah. Well, she knows Samantha had a really nice conversation today, but like I said, if you missed it earlier, I need a haircut. And this is the hat I wear, especially in the wintertime, being Irish descent and all that. And, like I said, I'm a shaman. It's easier, to say a farfasa, which is the Celtic word for shaman. So I can't, people look at me and tell them I'm a farfasa, like she says, she's a Mulfor. Everybody would think I'm an idiot. So you use the word shaman, even though a lot of people don't know. Native American people don't use the word shaman. They use healers.
Shaman is actually a Russian word.
Yep.
No kidding.
Started in Siberia with the indigenous of Siberia.
Fucking blowing. I blown my mind this whole podcast. Are you serious?
Yeah.
So how did that transform it to England, to us? Like, how does that just carry it over?
It's passed along. It was really in Siberia first, so that the Russian culture and all that, which of course Stacia is part of that Russian culture, the Rusin people and all that, which is kind of on that Carpathian mountain thing of that magical community that was basically at the time of the World Wars and all that, they were put in the concentration camps because Germans are so afraid of their magical abilities that they're going to do something.
Well, yeah, the First World War, the Rusins were rounded up with the Hungarian Jews and put in Tellerhofen in Hungary. And so my family actually comes from the Kievan Rus area, that little part everybody fights over. And, there's less than 1 million of us left, and there's like 120,000 of us identified. It is, it's an indigenous tribe, but, we are known for our, magical abilities. My mother was, a shaman. She never came out and said, this is what I am. When people say to me, when did you get your gifts? I don't remember a time not having my gifts. It was very normal to hear bumps in the night or say, hey, I saw this, or my mom take us to a house cleansing, or, we were a family that had deal growing around the house. Well, that keeps away evil spirits. And, for as much as my mother was a traumatized individual, my mother also taught me so many things without saying this is what it is. It wasn't until I got older and I started reading books, I'm like, oh God, my mother actually knew what she was doing. It was a way of living. Right. And, so my mom would go, come with me, Stace, come on, a house needs, there's a house cleansing, come on, we got to go clear this out. But so, I grew up that way, and the family was Orthodox and Byzantine. And so, I mean, these are, the traditions I grew up with. I don't know any other way. I can tell you at different stages in life where my gift improved, or I learned to control it, or I understood it, but I have had it my whole entire life. So, I'm very grateful to the things my mother has taught me, and even my dad. He was very much of the land, and he taught me so many. Yeah, he was. So my dad is actually Scottish, and his grandmother is full-blooded. Yeah, his grandmother was full-blooded Cherokee, but it was his step-grandmother. And she always said, blood makes you related, doesn't make you family. And she taught my dad a lot of these ways. He was her favorite. Right. So then my dad taught us those ways. So, it was a very deep respect of, the natives. And I do relate to the Russians more because the Russians had more tradition. We were I wouldn't say we were closer because we were close to my dad's side of the family, but even my dad's side of the family hung out with my mom's side of the family. They were the ones that were newly into this country. The grandparents came. My dad's family's been here longer, and they kind of lost that tradition of just living in the mountains. That's all they did. Where my mom's family was hardcore tradition, on religion and, just even the way you sat at the table. It didn't matter what it was. There were, rules. They're Russians. They're very stoic.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I've been this way my whole entire life, and I live the life of a shaman. I practice as a shaman in everything I do.
It's not a Facebook post. It's not a TikTok catch. It's your life. You live and breathe it, which reminds me, we still got about 10 more minutes, but I want to, if someone wants a reading from you or needs help from you, can they message you personally on Facebook, TikTok?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Just message me on Facebook. I get right back to them. That's the best way to, get a hold of us, and I keep my rates honestly really low, because, it's the universe is going to keep my lights on, but at the same time, you have to keep them low so people, everybody has a chance to have a healing experience.
You're not trying to get rich. You're just trying to cover your needs. Like you go to a
That's
house.
exactly it. Well, they don't pay us in chickens. They don't pay shamans and chickens and apple pies anymore.
Yeah.
It would be nice, but they don't
No
do that.
raviolis, they had.
There's so many people who take shaman classes. Shamanism isn't something you can teach. To be a shaman in a class, you can learn shamanistic practices, but that doesn't make you a shaman. Then, you can go take peyote, I guess, and have a spiritual, experience, but that doesn't make you a shaman. I was born with extra teeth. I was born with extra electrical hardware in my heart. My mother had extra bones in her feet. There are actually telltale markers of being a shaman. So my family, everybody in the family is gifted. My mother and I were the shamans.
Wow. That's wild.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's not something you can be taught. I mean, obviously you can be molded and kind of understand your abilities, but you're born with this shit. It's not like you're just
The spirit world will choose you.
Yeah.
Almost to the point where I've told people before, with me growing up and what I went through and how realizing what my gifts were with my time with Lorraine Warren, you don't know, you got to do the work. You got to do the work for yourself. You have to clear the path, and you have to accept that responsibility, because if you don't, they call it the shaman sickness, where they keep knocking on the door. And I like to call it like from, Back to the Future, McFly, wake up, McFly. They'll keep doing it until you take the steps to take on that gift of being a shaman. It is a gift.
Pull the rug out from underneath.
Oh yeah.
So they what? They will pull the rug out?
Oh, yeah.
They'll create havoc in your life until you get the message.
So you scream mercy. It's like, okay, I get it.
Spirits are humans once. They're pricks too. They don't have to be demons.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, that's what a lot of people make the mistake when something crazy happens and you feel like it's a negative. It really isn't. It is an ancestor trying to get your attention. There's been plenty of cases that I've done and all that, and STACIA have done, where I had a case where the spirit was trying to get this boy's attention, scratched him. They thought it was a demon. I go there and and figure out that this boy has abilities. So, and the spirit sees he has abilities, is trying to get his attention. Unfortunately, he scratches him, or he might have pushed him. He just wants his attention to tell his story. And his story was, he was a World War II vet, had PTSD, decided to be a drunken alcoholic, treated his family really badly. As I'm talking to the spirit to help him transition, I'm getting the story little by little through spirit box, through, cognition and all that. But all he wanted to help him pass, to make peace, is he wanted us to put daisies on his wife's grave. So I had to find where his wife's grave was. I found it. We put the daisies on his wife's grave, played their favorite song, Dream a Little Dream. And then the family we were trying to help, where the boy was getting scratched, called, what did you guys do like yesterday? Oh, we just did this ceremony. It's like everything went light and there's no more anything going on in the house. So he transitioned. Sometimes there's different ways to transition. It doesn't happen right away. It takes time. Sometimes it's like you and I, if I take you into a session, hey, is your life going to change in one day? I might give you the right words that day, or it might take a little time to figure out what's going on, and then you see what you need to see to move forward. So.
Wow. We got about 5, 6, 7 minutes to go. I want people to know. Okay, how about this? Give me where do you guys see WARDRUNA? Where do you guys see yourselves at this time next year? More conventions, through a book, some more members, maybe?
Oh,
Absolutely.
all the above.
Yeah, we call it the WARDRUNA experience for a reason. People will experience, what we do, what we provide, and we're hoping it builds into a movement where it helps a lot of people. Is everybody going to get on board? No, there's nothing ever 100%, but we'd like to be at least as close to 100% as possible, where people understand what we're trying to do and help, and that's on the positive side in an industry that's rough. The paranormal isn't always all of positivity. There is a negativity
with some people.
Yeah,
places. I'm not going to name drop, but just different people, different places. Yeah.
But nobody's right or wrong about the paranormal. That's the great thing about it. That's the chase. It doesn't matter what you do. I don't think in our lifetimes we'll ever be able to prove it 100%.
But not cut you off, but you guys aren't following people. There's a lot of people out there that try to follow trends, try to follow the people, kind of coattail, piggyback. There's nothing like WARDRUNA. Am I wrong? There's nothing like the shop. There
are other healing groups out there,
Yeah.
shamans, therapists. This is different. This is literally built on mine and Gina's trauma we healed. And we pulled practitioners together. And like I said, it's just such an amazing group. Right now we are trying to find more therapists, to cover everything.
Yep.
That's going to be, our biggest challenge. That's going to eventually, be able to, wrap itself up. But, even if we can get a Rolodex from, a therapist or therapist, like, wait a second, I'll find somebody for you. We're working together like that. But, this is, a unique experience. It really is.
And a lot of people are going to get the experience is going to happen this year. A lot of the places that we have set up all over the place, different audience, to get to a lot of different people, especially a lot of these really haunted areas, but especially, like I said, we got a lot of stuff going on at Hillview Manor, which we want a lot of people to go out to because that place is fantastic.
I can vouch
We
for
want
that.
to keep, we want to keep them going. They're great people. They run a great show, and we have a lot of events there this year. But again, we got Connecticut Paracon, of course, July 11th, New Orleans Paracon, July 31st, August 2nd. Yeah. And then, of course, the one near and dear to my heart in Connecticut, the Connecticut Witch Festival.
Love that.
So that's very historic and cultural to people to learn about how the witch trials in New England started in Connecticut before Salem.
Started
Exactly. This will be our third year. That'll be in August.
Hannah.
Yeah. And then the Hollow Paracon and Film Fest, we're excited because it has, the fundraiser in New Jersey for mental health, which is all part of WARDRUNA, what we do.
Love it.
One of our dear friends, Christopher Lee and our friend Stephanie are running the brand new first time ever Cleveland Paracon.
Yes.
So
September 11th to 12th.
Yep.
It is the same day as the main Paracon.
Yep.
We have Father Bob going to come out. We have James Sammy Stokes.
Yep.
We have Gina. Sam Beltrusis will be there. Andrew will be there.
Major Warburton. So
yes, we have,
cover all of America, man. It's nice to have things halfway points. You guys get Ohio covered, dude.
Yeah.
We do.
But Cleveland Paracon is going to be great. It's a first time. We decided, just like we sponsored you because it's our backyard, we wanted to make sure we're one of the main sponsors to help Cleveland out. It's their first time, and they're great people, and it's going to be a fantastic event. But also, yeah, there you go. You got to come next year.
Yeah.
And we have another event in September 19th and 20th, of course, the Underworld Culture Con. That's going to be in Scranton, Pennsylvania. That one is close ties with Larissa Rex, and I think Mike Danger is going to be part of it. Mike Castro. So they're kind of running the deal there, as of I know. But we have so many going on. We forget we have to keep our calendar open. Yeah.
Yeah.
I should
And we have
ask you
other
first.
things.
You don't mind me asking? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, no, I was just saying, we have many other little events also in between all those. So just, come to, either of our, Facebook pages and you'll be able to see where we're at.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say,
Always
Thomas,
advertise.
you're still working with Charles Rosenet, right? Of course.
Of course. The Shaman and the Showman is stronger than ever. It's actually, we're going to be doing events out here sponsored by the Shaman and the Showman. Even if Charles isn't here, the Shaman and the Showman is worldwide. One of us is going to be somewhere. And we want that.
My first ever speaking opportunity
Yeah.
he gave me at Salem. I gave him my big Beatles picture, and I will never forget that. And I will always support you guys. I love you fucking guys. And Charles has got me back to Salem every year. He's had me speak on stage. I mean, no one, and now I am with other places, which is whatever. And I'm not trying to make this about me, but he really gave me you guys both saw the light in me a long time before people did. And you guys know I appreciate that. What's up, Danielle Fitzgerald? Awesome chica. Check it in. So
a lot of people got to remember, Adam, a lot of people remember a lot of these events like Charles and I do. A lot of people come for the first time.
Yeah.
We put them out there to speak because we believe in them. And the great thing about it is the networking happens. Then you meet somebody, you get on their podcast, then you're at their Paracon, and your career builds. Yeah. It's like, I want to be there for people that have something to say. And I want other people to see what they have to say so they could build their own career. But then after you let them out of the nest, they got to fly themselves, of course. But we're always there to support them. And
you got Nate,
we're always glad to have them back.
Nate is first speaking gig. Nate Elwell is first speaking gig, and now he's on the cover of a magazine with Morgan. He's on the cover of a magazine. That's
the thing is you got to start somewhere, and you got to have somebody believe in you. And that's the thing is the circle of friends that we have, I believe in all of them. Of course, you add them, Danny and Lauren, Samaya, all the people that have chimed in, Father Bob, we got a tight circle of people. Father Ken, the WARDRUNA crew, Gina,
Larry.
And I thank Gina a lot because I don't think if it wasn't for Gina, I never would have met Stacia. There's so many people that come into your life that put you on a trajectory. If you don't meet them, your life would be totally different. There was a study done at Princeton that even if you go out one day and let's just say you decided to let the old lady cross the street, if you don't let that old lady cross the street that day and made a different decision, your life would be totally different.
I hear that.
It's that one little thing,
right? The little butterfly thing.
Yeah. Exactly.
Butterfly effect. Exactly.
Yeah. You got to remember that you got to be nice to everybody, no matter what they do. If you're good to who you are, and you project who you are and you like what you see in the mirror, then that'll come on you. So that's what we want WARDRUNA to know. People that want WARDRUNA.
You're going to be the world president in fucking UA, I swear to God.
There you go. I'm old enough.
All right. Hour and a half. I could talk another fucking 10 hours. I got to get up at 5 a.m. But I'm going to have you and Charles come back on in June, talk about, I believe, right? Or something like that. Talk about the Paracon.
Yeah, we'll be helping you out in June and promoting and all that for the month. Of course, WARDRUNA. I think I have it all covered. I think I got you covered, the whole year and at least one of the months, to make sure everything gets out there.
On me somewhere, for Christ's sake.
There you go.
I just want you to talk about me.
Yeah.
All year long, just talk about me.
Well, Stacia, I want to ask you, I have a new season starting in like May or I think season 7 starts. Would I be able to get you solo one-on-one if Thomas doesn't mind, he can watch?
Yes.
I like to watch. No, I'm kidding.
You know what I mean, though. As a, just like I like to have people on together, but it's always good to have that one person on, and then of course, or even have Thomas come on as co-host. But basically, would you guys come back on again? I always like to ask my guests.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Stacia on her own, her trajectory and her life. There's so much more she hasn't even said anything about tonight.
Well,
I think, you could have 10 different shows about her life and they'll all be very exciting and riveting.
I'm intrigued about good show, peeps. Thanks, Brandon, for checking in every week. The guy sends me fucking Cash App money after every show.
Brandon's awesome.
Appreciate you, Brandon. You support my show too. I'm blessed to have all you in my life. Stacia, Thomas, everybody. I'm going to get these guys back on. Please get them on your show, Powerful Show. Somebody's coming on in about a month. I have
awesome.
She would sign with me. I can talk for another hour and a half. Anyway, love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. This will be up on YouTube forever in the archives. I'll tag you guys this weekend. You'll be sponsoring the show. You sponsor the year. Thank you so much for that. Stacia, we'll talk probably this weekend. I'll try to get you on maybe like July, August. Have you one-on-one?
Yeah, perfect. That sounds good.
Guys try to get you between shows if I can get you guys. You guys tour more than the fucking Beatles do. Oh, look, Danny is alive. Danny says, great show. Danny, are you watching the whole
Danny
time?
rocks.
I love Danny.
Danny. He'll be there with his hearse too. He's another motherfucking guy that made it. I'm going to talk another hour. Hey guys, thanks for watching Historically Haunted. I give an actress, Jennifer Nagel, on next week. She killed people in movies. Check it out.